This video is about something you may not expect: how your digestion affects your brain. Most of us think memory problems come from aging brains, not from our stomachs. But scientists now believe your second brain, the gut, might play a much bigger role in memory than we ever imagined. In fact, growing research shows that the health of your gut can directly impact how clearly you think, how well you remember, and even your risk for Alzheimer's. This isn't just a new theory. The gut-brain link has been studied at major institutions like Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and the National Institutes of Health. In this video, you'll learn how your gut and brain talk to each other, how digestion can influence your mood and memory, and what you can do to support both. Let's start with the basics. The gut-brain highway. Your gut and brain are in constant conversation. They're connected by a major nerve called the vagus nerve, like a two-way street between your intestines and your brainstem. But they also communicate through chemicals called neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. In fact, around 90% of the body's serotonin, a chemical that affects mood and memory, is produced in the gut. That's why scientists often call the gut our second brain. It's not just digesting food, it's creating messages that influence how you think and feel. Microbes that matter. Inside your gut live trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms. Together, they're called the gut microbiome. Think of it like a tiny ecosystem. Some microbes are helpful, while others can cause problems. When your gut is healthy, the helpful bacteria thrive. They help break down food, reduce inflammation, and produce chemicals that protect the brain. But when the gut is out of balance, from stress, poor diet, antibiotics, or illness, harmful bacteria can take over. This imbalance is called dysbiosis, and it can trigger inflammation that spreads to the brain. In some people, it shows up as brain fog. In others, it may contribute to more serious memory problems. How gut health impacts memory. Let's take a closer look at how this happens. Inflammation. Poor gut health can lead to chronic inflammation, a low-level, ongoing immune response. Studies have linked inflammation in the body to slower thinking and increased risk of dementia. When the gut lining is weakened, tiny food particles and toxins can pass into the bloodstream. This is sometimes called leaky gut. But did you know the same can happen in the brain? Chronic gut inflammation can actually damage the blood-brain barrier, making the brain more vulnerable to harmful substances. Your brain needs nutrients like B vitamins, omega-3s, magnesium, and antioxidants to function. A struggling gut may not absorb these properly, even if your diet is healthy. That means, well, your brain could be running on empty without you even knowing. The gut plays a role in producing mood-regulating chemicals. When those are out of balance, it can lead to anxiety, depression, and lack of motivation, all of which, affect memory and focus. The science is still unfolding. This field is called neurogastroenterology. It's still relatively new, but, the evidence is growing. For example, researchers from UCLA found that women who ate probiotic-rich yogurt showed changes in brain activity related to emotion and sensation. Other studies have shown that people with Alzheimer's often have very different gut bacteria profiles than those without. And animal studies have shown that transplanting healthy gut bacteria into mice can improve their memory and behavior. Of course, we're not mice, and honestly, more research is needed. But the message is clear. When it comes to memory, the gut matters. Ever felt it yourself? You might have noticed this connection in your own life. Have you ever had, butterflies in your stomach during stress? Or maybe lost your appetite when you were grieving? These aren't just emotional reactions. They're actually physical proof of the gut-brain connection. Likewise, some people with gut issues like irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, or acid reflux report feeling mentally slower, more irritable, or even forgetful. That's not a coincidence. It's communication between two parts of your body that are, honestly, deeply intertwined. The big picture here is, this isn't about blaming digestion for all memory loss, but it is about understanding that your brain doesn't work in isolation. Your body is a system, and the gut plays a central role in that system, not just for food, but for thinking, remembering, and feeling. And the good news? Unlike some parts of the brain, your gut can often be healed. Now let's look at how to strengthen that connection and support your memory, starting from the inside out. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Small, consistent changes can bring surprising benefits over time. Let's start with what to add. Feed the good guys, prebiotic fiber. Prebiotics are types of fiber that feed the good bacteria in your gut. You can think of them as fertilizer for your internal garden. Foods rich in prebiotic fiber include onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, bananas, oats, and apples. These aren't exotic or expensive. They're everyday foods that help nourish your microbiome. Over time, eating more of these can shift your gut toward a healthier, more balanced state. And remember, the healthier your gut, the better your brain can function. Bring in reinforcements. Probiotics. Probiotics are live bacteria that can help restore balance to your gut. You'll find them in fermented foods like yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and pickles that are fermented in brine, not vinegar. Some people also take probiotic supplements. If you choose to try one, look for strains studied for mood or cognition, like Lactobacillus rhamnosus or Bifidobacterium longum. But supplements aren't magic pills. They work best with a gut-friendly diet, not instead of one. Eat for calm, not chaos. Certain foods can fuel inflammation and disrupt gut bacteria, especially if eaten often. These include, processed meats, excess sugar, fried foods, artificial sweeteners, and ultra-processed snacks. It doesn't mean you can never enjoy a treat. But if brain clarity is the goal, shifting toward whole, unprocessed foods is honestly a powerful step. Fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and fish are all associated with better cognitive outcomes. And, better gut health too. Number 4, don't underestimate stress. Stress doesn't just affect your mood. It can actually change your gut bacteria, slow digestion, and increase inflammation. Long-term stress is kind of like static in the gut-brain communication system. If you've ever had digestive problems during tough times, you know this firsthand. Practices that reduce stress, even a little, can really go a long way. Gentle walks, deep breathing, time in nature, prayer or meditation, journaling, or even light stretching or yoga. So get enough sleep. Poor sleep disrupts both the brain and the gut. In fact, studies show that sleep deprivation can actually change your gut microbiome in just a few days. That's why getting 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep isn't just for energy. It helps protect your memory long term. If sleep is difficult, consider setting a gentle bedtime routine, reducing screen use at night, and creating a dark, quiet sleeping space. Move your body. Exercise helps digestion, reduces stress, and stimulates brain growth, all at once. And you don't need to join a gym or run marathons. Even 20 to 30 minutes of walking a day has been shown to improve both gut function and cognitive performance in older adults. If possible, try to move after meals. A short walk can aid digestion and help regulate blood sugar, both of which support brain health. Listen to your gut. Literally. If you often feel bloated, gassy, constipated, or uncomfortable after eating, your body may be trying to tell you something. Digestive issues are not just part of aging. They can be signals that your gut is out of balance, and your memory may be feeling the effects, even if subtly. You don't need to live with chronic discomfort. A conversation with your doctor, a registered dietitian, or a gastroenterologist can make a real difference. Sometimes, identifying a food sensitivity or making a simple dietary shift can lift both mental and physical fog. The gut-brain connection reminds us that honestly, everything in the body is linked. Your stomach isn't just digesting lunch, it's actually shaping your mood, your memory, and your mental clarity. And that means your daily habits, your meals, your stress levels, your sleep, they all matter. You don't need perfection. But progress, just one step at a time, can bring some pretty powerful results. So here's a quick recap of what you can do today to support your gut and protect your memory. Add more prebiotic fiber like onions, bananas, or oats. Eat fermented foods or maybe consider probiotics. Cut back on ultra-processed foods. Reduce stress with calming routines. Prioritize restful sleep. Move your body every day. And, pay attention to your gut signals. Your brain is listening to your gut. And with the right care, that conversation can become one of healing, not harm. Thanks so much for watching Silver Memory. Take care of your second brain, and your mind will thank you.